Hello students, welcome to this new video. This time we're going to see the topic about redundancy and wordiness. And this is a very practical topic that will make you be better writers, because sometimes we don't write concisely or precisely what we want to transmit. And in this case, we're going to see how if we apply these principles, we can become better writers, especially when we write academic papers, you see? And I'm going to start with this thought. It says, vigorous writing is concise. A sentence should contain no unnecessary words, or a paragraph no unnecessary sentences, for the same reason that a drawing should have no unnecessary lines and a machine no unnecessary parts. This requires not that the writer make all his sentences short, or that he avoid all detail and treat his subjects only in outlines, but that every word tell. William Strunk Jr. in Elements of Style. Okay, redundancy and wordiness. I'm sure that you have already heard about redundancy. Redundancy is when we express more words than necessary. You see, I express one idea, but then I use a lot of words, and then I'm repeating the same idea with different words. And that is what we want to, or we have to avoid when writing in with academic purposes. Writing concise sentences is much better, and it is much more professional. In this case, we can see one example of redundancy. It says Pizza Hut. We have pizza. Of course, it is redundant because if you can see here in the logo, they are pizza makers, so it is not necessary to say that they have pizza. Well, this is a way to make publicity, to promote their products. This office will not tolerate redundancy in this office. Here we are repeating the same concept, this office, and then at the end, this office. This is redundant. This office will not tolerate redundancy in this office. Notice, thank you for noticing this new notice. You're noticing it has been noted and will be reported to the authorities. The word or the term that is repeated in this case is the concept notice. What is redundancy? The state of being or not or no longer needed or useful. The use of words or data that could be omitted without loss of meaning or function. This is very important here. If you can omit words, but without the loss of meaning or function, it is good. You have to do it, because the repetition or superfluity of information is not good in your writing. Synonyms: superfluity, unnecessariness, or excess. The inclusion of extra components that are not strictly necessary to functioning in case of failure in other components. So basically, the definition is this one. The use of words or data that could be omitted without loss of meaning or function, repetition or superfluity or information. So what we have to do is to avoid repeating the same words, the same ideas to transmit a specific message. So we need to avoid redundancy. Pruning the redundant. Avoid saying the same thing twice. Many uneducated citizens who have never attended school continue to vote for better schools. You see, if it says many uneducated citizens who have never attended school, is not necessary here, you see. A phrase that repeats itself like true fact. If it is a fact, then it should be true. Or 12 noon. I saw it with my own eyes. Of course, if you saw it, you had to use your eyes. So my own eyes is not necessary in this expression, and it is sometimes called a pleonasm. You see? Redundant phrases are bad habits just waiting to take control of your writing. Probably this is when we don't have the best word choice, and then we commit this type of errors. We don't have the necessary words, but then at the end we finish writing more words than necessary. Be aware of these following redundancy expressions. Here we have the redundant expression, and then a better way to express that idea. 12 midnight. If you say 12 midnight, you are repeating midnight. It's not necessary. You say 12 noon. 3 a.m. in the morning. Of course, if it is a.m., it must be in the morning. So in the morning is not necessary here. You only say 3 a.m. Absolutely, spectacular, phenomenal. Spectacular, phenomenal. You don't need to say absolutely spectacular or absolutely phenomenal. You only say spectacular or phenomenal. A person who is honest. You can reduce this expression saying an honest person. An honest person is enough. A total of 14 birds. You say only 14 birds. It is not necessary to say a total. Biography of her life. Well, if it is a biography, it has to be about a person's life. So you only say biography. Helen White's biography. George Washington's biography. You don't have to say a biography of her life or his life. Circle around. Circle around. Around is not necessary here because a circle is round. You see? So these are common mistakes that we commit when we are starting to write. Be aware of these following redundancy expressions. Personally, I think, I feel. You don't need to say personally. You only say I feel, I think. Personally is not necessary here. In my personal opinion, you don't need to say in my personal opinion. You can only say in my opinion or my opinion is, and that's it. Because if it is your opinion, it is your personal opinion. Refer back, repeat again, return again. You only need to say repeat, return, because the word, the concept itself is telling you that it is an action that is repeated. Okay? So I hope you can put this into practice in your writing when you're writing. You can also reduce clauses to phrases to single words. Be alert for clauses or phrases that can be paired to simpler, shorter constructions. Example, citizens who knew that what was going on voted him out of office. National citizens voted him out of office. Knowledgeable citizens voted him out of office. You see, you can reduce clauses, you can reduce sentences to shorter constructions. Avoiding wordy sentences. Wordy sentences. Be aware of intensifiers that do not really intensify. Avoid using words such as really, very, quiet, extremely, severely when they are not necessary. You know, in this case, I'm going to send you some examples, okay? For example, if I tell you he is very angry, you know, you can replace very angry for another word. You can say, for example, he is furious. And then very is not necessary there. So you have to be alert of these expressions, because sometimes there are better terms, there are better expressions to say to express the same idea, and it is more formal, because when you read a reading when you read something in which you have many of these intensifiers is not good. Very, really, extremely. You can replace those intensifiers for other terms. Avoiding wordy sentences. Number 3, avoiding expletive constructions. Expletive constructions begin with there is, there are, or it is. Look at this example. There are 25 students who have already expressed a desire to attend the program next summer. It is they and their parents who stand to gain the most by the government grant. In this writing here, you can notice that the words there and are not. You only say 25 students have already expressed a desire. You here delete there are and who have. Who have? Who? You see? Have. You only take have and put it here, and then you delete who. 25 students have already expressed a desire to attend the program. So it is a good opportunity to delete unnecessary words in the reading. Avoiding wordy sentences. Number 4, phrases you can phrases you can omit for important sounding phrases that add nothing to the meaning of a sentence. So students, I'm going to send you a link for you to practice this activity, which is very important when we write. You know, this is advanced composition, so these are good principles that you can put into practice to write better. Remember, if you have any question, please let me know. I'm going to try to send you some other information about it. I'm going to upload this information to Google Classroom. I'm going to provide you with other list of expressions that you can reuse in order to write better. Have a nice time. See you on our next class.